Hello, everyone. Hello. All right, guys, I have hit pause on this real fast because we are watching the verdict. Okay, so the jury has just left the courtroom. Okay, we should be getting a verdict anytime right now. Should be giving out the information. And what I'm going to do is what I am watching is the Delphi trial of WISH TV. Support their opinion. So I think, it's good. All right, I'm going to turn this down a little bit because it hasn't been talked about yet, but okay. Here we go. The jury has deliberated for about 18 hours. They have reached a verdict, and it's obviously, in my opinion, this is really good because they didn't send notes to the judge. This is not a hung jury, okay? They did not send notes to the judge saying that they had questions and that they didn't, they were having problems. So this is great. This is not a mistrial or a hung jury. We have an actual verdict. And they have just left the courtroom, the jury has. So we're going to be receiving the information any moment about if he is guilty or not guilty. So let's just continue watching this for just a moment. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you think Richard Allen is guilty or not guilty or what they're going to show. Now, this is Murder Sheet Podcast. I had to look them up real quick. But this is Murder Sheet Podcast. And so they're just kind of talking right now, trying to get through some information. Let's listen to them.
Issues could have been handled better for everyone. And if it was just us negatively affected, I might be willing to say, well, we have bad luck. But I think the fact that a lot of reporters have voiced frustration, I think the fact that a lot of members of the public have also been kind of shut out of this process, especially people from Delphi. I mean, they've been having to fight this line too. I just think this might be a lesson for us in Indiana about how to perhaps better handled public access of a high profile case like this.
Because
okay, so I want to know your thoughts, guys. What do you think? Thank you, Courtney.
Staying up outside all night.
Courtney said almost went out there today, but so many people, and Courtney thinks they're not guilty. Courtney, thank you again for coming back. I really appreciate it.
Because people who just sit at home and watch it on their televisions, or reporters could listen to audio feeds in the press room. I think it would really have calmed the atmosphere.
Oh, guys, any moment we're gonna find out.
I just got another piece of information from my photographer, Kevin Stinson, who is keeping an eye on the jury. He thinks there might be some more movement over there. So where do you think?
Okay, more movement with the jury. As far as I know, they've left the courtroom.
Well, if it's a guilty verdict, then he will most certainly appeal that, and we might see appellate attorneys come on and sort of try to get.
Okay, so just more information. The jury has a little bit more action left in them. But again, guys, these jurors seemed like valuable, awesome people and logical people. I think this is a very good sign that they have found him not guilty. Now, this also brings in a massive problem. What if Richard really is Bridge Guy? He's been let go. He's been let go and no more. Thank you, Daff3704. Thank you so much for being here. Matt Hunter. Hey, Matt. Thank you so much for your opinion. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, we're going back here. Going to turn up the volume again. Going to find out what's going on.
You must be evil. You must have moral failings. There's so much bitterness and anger around this case.
Oh, guys, I'm nervous. Because if they find him guilty,
not allow Odinism into the trial. Not once.
They didn't prove their case.
She even blocked it when they tried to bring it in during the trial. At the end of the day, does that impact what we're about to find out?
I think the defense would argue that it would, and they're certainly going to probably appeal based on that in part. Having seen the Odinism case kind of come
and came from the Murder Sheet podcast,
I personally feel like it was a loser. As far as cases go, it really had a lot of holes in it, and I don't feel like they met the nexus that is required to bring someone in.
Right.
And so personally, I don't feel like it impacted, but I'm sure the defense will argue that.
All right, Kevin. Anya, thank you so much. And when the verdict comes down, we might talk to you again shortly. Bill, I'll send it back to you there in studio.
We would love to hear from them again later on after the verdict is read. Cody Fisher on the case for us tonight. Cody, very good reporting. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cody.
See you again shortly. Just to reset, if you're just joining us now, a verdict has been reached in the Delphi murders trial. Okay, so this has been going on this is day 22 of all of this. They've been deliberating for 4 days now. Mario Maslamani is a noted defense attorney.
Okay.
You know him well.
We don't need to talk to Mario right now. All right. So let's go back to us while this pauses just a little bit. Guys, I'm a little nervous. Because if they find him not guilty and he really is Bridge Guy, he's gone free. And then if they find him guilty, there really wasn't enough evidence to convict him on it. This is insane. This whole trial should never have happened. And now with all of the information out about how Abby and Libby passed away, the details of the crime scene, that's all basically out there now. How are they going to know if they get a real confession from somebody when all that information is now out there? It does not make any sense why they did this. So I'm a little nervous because, number one, this city really wants closure. They definitely want some closure. They want somebody to go away for this. I can't say that I blame them, but I would want the right person to go away, not the wrong person. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't understand the logic in that of wanting to put somebody away for this. I do understand, of course you want to get justice for these young girls, but for the right reason. And it just, again, does not make sense to put Richard Allen up when there are so many more viable suspects at this conjuncture. I don't understand this. It really didn't make very much sense as far as like the trial and the evidence. The defense was able to disprove a lot of it. The witness statements really didn't match up. The timeline, the ballistics was botched. Wow. I mean, there was just so many holes in this thing. You could just lift up the case and all the water will just come right out of it. It's like a big strainer. I know I didn't say that right. I'm sorry. I'm just a little nervous because I really honestly don't think that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy. I really don't think that he is guilty of this crime due to what the state presented. Oh.
The jury foreman, if they have reached a verdict.
What's going on?
Jury foreman will,
What's going on?
And say, yes, Your Honor, and then they will go through each.
What? Okay.
What happened? So I hear some cheering.
Go for it. Tell us.
Richard Allen is found guilty on all 4 counts of murder in the deaths nearly 8 years after Abby Williams and Libby German died near the Monon High Bridge in February of 2017. Inside the courthouse.
No fucking way.
Both the families seemed relieved. About 25 of them for each family.
No fucking
Doug Carter
way.
held the hand of Becky Patty. And the Allen family sobbed as they heard. Richard Allen remained completely unfazed looking. And we now know that the sentencing will come December 20th.
What was the most emotional part, Kyla, in the courtroom? Was it coming from Libby's family? Was it, did Richard Allen's family cry? What was the most emotional part?
I'd say the most emotional part was when that first count was read. Judge Gold read that. And the second part was when they took a poll of all 12 jurors, each one of them saying, yes, that was their verdict on all 4 counts. Richard Allen was guilty.
What were the looks on the faces of the jurors as that verdict was read?
For the most part, they seemed not shocked. They seemed relieved for the most part. I saw one kind of sigh into his hands. Of course, they deliberated for 19 hours. Been there for days now and have been sequestered from their families, jobs, homes for a month.
And I believe, so were you surprised when you came out and there was the cheer?
I will say, there's kind of been an interesting dynamic out here I've been here in Carroll County at the Delphi.
A lot of Grays Hughes people are probably there
for many days. And sometimes, there were people that were Richard Allen supporters. There were people that were really there to remember the girls. And for the most part, it seemed split down the line. So there were higher cheers than I realized.
Yeah, Cody, Kyla, what was it like? Ask Kyla. I don't know if she has an earpiece in IFB. Ask her what it was like inside the courtroom with your cheers inside the courtroom. What was that like? Walk us through that a little bit more if she can.
Yeah, Phil wants to know, were there cheers inside of the courtroom?
The courtroom remained relatively silent, honestly. I mean, after that fourth count was read, we did hear sobs from Richard Allen's wife, Kathy Allen, and his mom, Janice.
Oh my God, those poor women.
Other than that, it was quiet. I did see
that poor family. The Allens, the Germans, the Williams.
Was read, and especially when that fourth count was read.
Now, Kyla, just a couple of minutes ago, we saw the jury.
All right, let's talk about this for a moment because I just can't right now. I just can't right now, guys. I don't think I can right now. I just don't honestly think I can. Christian says, I remember like in high school, I joined with a group of y'all, the AHS season 7, y'all some people in that group. And I got a ruminant over nothing. Thank you, Christian, for being here, darling. Yeah, scary both ways, but it could have just agreed to the same verdict to go home. I'm not going to lie. This is so disappointing. I was on that jury. I would not have convicted that man. There was not enough evidence. No way. The bullet did not match his gun. They tore apart the witnesses and the times that they actually saw Bridge Guy. They were actually able to show that Richard Allen was not Bridge Guy. I don't understand what was going on in the jury's mind. More likely, they probably had some pressure to close this case and end it. So, yeah, I know, guys, there's something really fucking seriously wrong with our legal system. And I really say now that it's our turn to get up and stand up against it because this is wrong. The state did not prove their case. And I would be so upset if that were me or one of you out there who had been accused of this and they had no proof. Wow. This is insane that they found him guilty. Guilty. Wow. You know, I was making my suspect list for my next video in Delphi. There was over 6, aside from Richard Allen, good, viable suspects that actually matched the drawings, the suspect sketches. Nothing. Richard Allen didn't even resemble Bridge Guy. No DNA. No DNA. None. This is really scary. This is extremely scary. I know I was not there every single day of the trial. Maybe I have some facts wrong. But I watched that reporting. I watched that information. There was nothing ever reported that was the smoking gun. Even the white van guy, the Brad Mueller, which they had him admit that more than likely he didn't go home that day. Richard Allen gave no details in his confession about details that the police had kept, like how their lives had ended. He did not give any of that information. So a white van that could have been there, flimsy ballistics, and a botched timeline convicted him. I'm sure the confessions obviously had something to do with it. Now, when you talk to people about this case and you tell them at first, okay, this guy made 61 confessions. I know even one of my longtime sweet viewers who has not been up with this case, but you know, he started watching whenever I was talking about this, and I let Blaze know about the case. And yeah, even he didn't really think that this really was like accurate. You know, I just don't understand how they convicted him on that. How they did that. I don't get it. I need to probably get off here for a little bit because I'm stunned. I thought they would show him not guilty, honestly. And I know I was a little nervous because what if they find him innocent and he really is Bridge Guy? You know, and then what if they found him guilty and then he really didn't do it? And somebody who really took the lives of these two young girls are still out there and they got away with this. You know, it's just not right. It doesn't seem like no DNA whatsoever. Being in solitary confinement in a prison for years. Guys, I just can't. I can't right now. I am so shocked, disappointed in our American legal system, and really shocked at our American legal system. How can you send somebody away on that? No DNA. None. Not one. Not one of his confessions matched anything actually at the crime scene. Not even how they passed away. How could you convict this guy? One spent bullet casing that linked you to him. I can't. Our American justice system has failed us, guys. And this is really fucking sad. This is really sad. Like I said, I'm going to go back and look back at the trial information. Maybe I missed something. Maybe some of these podcasters will come back. I'll keep listening to the news. Maybe they'll tell us more about maybe some evidence that we missed, something that wasn't reported. I don't know, but I watched everything that was reported and nothing showed me that this guy was guilty. Nothing. Not even the freaking 61 confessions, because I heard the confessions that he was giving before, which it wasn't confessions. He was like, I didn't do this. You're not going to make me say I did. And no matter what you do, I won't say that I did this. And then all of a sudden he's thrown in a prison solitary confinement for so long. And he's like, yeah, you know, I did it. I did it. I killed everyone. I killed my daughter. And even his confessions, he said that he essayed his daughter and he murdered her. The daughter got up on the stand and she's like, I'm alive. My dad never touched me. I don't get this. So you guys leave your information in the comments. I would love to hear them. Matt says after throwing him in solitary confinement, you could have asked him if he was the Zodiac killer and he probably would have confessed. Actually, exactly. Same thing. Daft 3704 says because he's not pretty like Karen Reed. Dude, I feel bad for this guy's family now. There are going to be there's no way Richard Allen can get an appeal. No way. Once you're in prison, it is basically impossible to get out. I have seen so much I'm so sorry. The light is really coming in right here from my window. So I'm very lit up today. It's so hard to get out of prison. Even for the guys who falsely confessed to the yogurt shop murders and to little Brandon Dasney, you know, all those people who falsely confess and they're thrown in jail, it's almost impossible to get out after. It'll be almost impossible for Richard Allen to ever get out. Ever. I mean, sure, he can appeal, but who's going to listen to his appeal? This is the Delphi killer now. Nobody's going to give this guy a chance whatsoever. And I feel really bad for his family. I do feel bad for his family because that was not enough evidence. And now his wife and his daughter and his mom and his whole entire family are going to be branded as the family of the Delphi killer. Wow. I mean, that's going to be really fucking tough. And then what about the Williams and the German family? Do they really think that bridge guy was Richard Allen? Did they really agree with police and the evidence? Do they think that he really killed their family members? Or do they just think they did because the police said, hey, we got some evidence over here to say that it happened, which they really didn't. So I would be really interested to see the families coming out afterwards to say how they feel and how they're doing with everything. I'm sure Karen Reed is not going to come out, and I would not blame her. I would not blame her or her daughter whatsoever if they never came out into public. But that's really sad for them too, that it's a society that makes it to where they can't come out in public. So anyway, Richard Allen has been found guilty, guys. I don't understand this. Gray Hughes, and I'm sure all his supporters are absolutely celebrating, but man, poor guy. Poor guy. They had no DNA, nothing hardcore to show that this poor psychotic guy didn't do this. And the defense, I thought, did great. I thought they did fantastic. Gray Hughes is your boy. I used to watch a lot of Gray Hughes Investigates. I still do. But then when I was watching his reporting regarding the Delphi trial, he was very biased on Richard Allen. And I just wanted the facts. I didn't want something biased to sway my opinion. I wanted to make up my own opinion if Richard Allen was bridge guy based on the facts of the trial. And from what I got from Gray Hughes is he was very biased. He was not logical. He was not two-sided. So that's why I went to other news reportings, because Gray Hughes supports Kelsey. He's a huge Kelsey German supporter and loves her. She's been on his show a couple of times, I even think. So yeah, he is a huge Delphi supporter. So I'm sure he's definitely with the police and what they say and all that stuff. So, for me though, Daph, he doesn't rub me the wrong way. Maybe he does other people, but I just wanted non-biased reporting. I just didn't want somebody who's going to be sitting there telling me, oh, this is why they showed that Richard Allen was guilty today. I didn't want to know that. I just wanted to know what evidence the state presented and what the defense did to counter it. I just wanted to know what the trial was, what evidence was shown. And like I said, Grace didn't really do a good job of that. So that was just my opinion, and that's why I went to other news outlets. But again, guys, oh my gosh, I'm just still so stunned over this. I am so stunned. I know we had a verdict watch tonight at 7 p.m. Maybe we'll just do kind of like a live chat after this is kind of taken some time to sink in and after we've gotten a little bit more information from the family. So we'll just go on ahead and do that for later on tonight. But as of now, Richard Allen has been found guilty. Okay. Thank you guys again so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your support. If you liked the video, please like it. If you want to subscribe, go for it. If you don't, I totally understand. No worries. Thank you again. I'll see you all tonight if you'd like to come back, and we'll discuss this just a little bit more. Thank you guys very much for being here. I really appreciate it. I definitely needed the support for this trial because I really thought they were going to find him not guilty. Shows what I know. Our American justice system is really fucked. Thank you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you later on tonight. Bye, everybody.